Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 34 of Project Ozone 3. Today, with any luck, we're going to continue diving into Project E and find new ways for this mod to make our lives easier. For starters, I think we were going to craft we already crafted this, right? We can get that off the list. We're going to craft the Transmutation Tablet, but that took ultimate ingots, so we're going to craft that, but that took crystal matrix ingots, so we're going to craft that, and that takes Runes of Summer. So let's start by automating Runes of Summer. Now, as we've discussed before, the various Botania runes have three tiers. Have three tiers. The tier 1, the elements and the water, or the elements and Rune of Mana, don't use runes to craft, but they use these Lordcraft runes, which we can't automate, which means we can't automate tier 1 runes. That sucks. At least not fully. But tier 2 and tier 3 runes only use the lower tier runes, and when you craft them, they even refund the Botania runes. So they don't refund the blood magic slates or anything else, but that's fine. So because of that behavior, we can actually reasonably easily automate these. So let's see, Rune of Summer. Start by, we can just directly import the recipe. I think that's every item. Now, I'm not going to tell the AE system that it refunds the runes. If I put the runes both in the input and the output, it becomes cyclic, and the AE system sometimes has a little bit of a challenge calculating cyclic recipes. So I'm not going to do that. I also want to make sure this is actually all the inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it counted the runic ultra as 1, so that's 9. Perfect. Well, all these items we should have, with the exception of Condensed Flame, but you see how it has an EMC value, so do I have a single one? I don't. What is it? 8 searing crystals around a stone? So all I have to do is, let's see, come here. I don't even have a stone. And once we make one, we can, go to our EMC machine and get a bunch. I was told I can click it in here. If you put items in the left side, you learn the recipe without burning the item. And then actually, I think if you put it in the center slot here, it focuses on this item and it finds the items of similar EMC value. An item tends to have a similar EMC value to itself. So if you want more of it, you can put it in this central slot. Anyways, that takes care of that. So let's put this, I should set up an interface first. So let's get an interface. And let's name it. And let's go set it up. So remember when we built our runic altar, I built it with this whole automation scheme in mind? Well, the entire plan all along was to put an interface on blocking mode next to this storage crate. So all that's left is to hook it up. Alright, with it hooked up, then let's put our pattern in there, and let's go request a Rune of Summer. So if I go request one of these, it's fine, because, whoops, I don't have slime balls? Let me replace that with the other type of slime ball then. There we go, I replaced it with the orange slime ball. So if we go request one, you see that it'll use the runes we currently have, as well as everything else we currently have, and it should dump all the contents into that chest, which in 1 second should result in them being dumped on there, and the thing turns on. Now all we have to do is, when it's done, return the items back to the AE system. So let's see, we have that chest. Let's just go through I would put a import bus here, but it's kind of crowded here already. Do I have, let's do that. Right, there we go. Just say import bus on our vacuum hopper or vacuum chest to suck all the items back into the AE system. So once again, as long as we order our Rune of Summer one at a time, or at least, a few at a time, so that we have as many air and earth runes as we order, it'll be fine. So my plan to, I don't want to have to say, hey, give me a Rune of Summer, hey, give me a Rune of Summer, 30 times. I'm also out of coal. I should figure out a way to automatically put coal in here. That wouldn't be a very hard challenge. But I'm lazy, and this is about the last time I'll have to refill this drawer ever. anyways, I'm thinking what we'll do is I'll put an export bus. I have a lot of, let's see, is this one doing anything? I'll put an export bus here with a crafting card and just tell it to craft Runes of Summer for us one at a time. So export buses, you can configure them when you have a crafting card to do not use stocked items, only craft. And that way, let's see, how can I, do I have, yeah, I have enough channels here. I can run this however I like. That way, when this export bus goes to, send Runes of Summer, it'll go and craft one of them, like so. So this will go, I guess what I could do is I could add a level emitter to turn it off once I hit a certain threshold, but honestly, I craft as many Runes of Summer as you like, buddy. So I'm going to just leave that there. We need a total of, let's see, how many is it? It's 6 per ingot. We need 9 ingots, 6 times 9, 54. I'm going to just let it run for like 10 minutes, and that'll probably produce, I don't know, 100-ish, and then I'll just, take the system down to turn it off. Alright, so that should take care of our crystal matrix ingot. I don't see anything else here we don't have. I did make a quick trip to whatever planet this comes from. Venus? No. Jupiter. Between episodes, and just dug up an ingot, or dug up a piece of volcanic rock. And since it has an EMC value, right? Once we get one, we can buy the rest off Amazon. So then that sets us up to make the ultimate ingot. Now, in here, aside from the crystal matrix ingot, the only things that, or everything aside from the crystal matrix ingot has an EMC value, which is really nice, but that still means we need to make our first one. And I was able to make all of these types of quartz. Most of them are very easy. It's just, mana quartz or quartz with redstone. Ooh, redstone. But there was one that is a bit of a challenge. That's sunny quartz. Sunny quartz uses a sunflower. And there's if you have one sunflower, you can grow more, but it has an EMC value, so that doesn't matter. Technically, sunflowers do world gen. You can get them in Sunflower Plains biomes, and those biomes do spawn in the Lost Cities dimension. They're like maybe not super rare, but they're a pretty rare biome, and I don't want to spend a long time looking for it. So I think I'm going to try to make this mana infusion thing, which requires us to make an alchemy catalyst. That doesn't look too bad. We just have to make a couple runes. But yeah, I think it'll be much easier to make the alchemy catalyst because we have onyx eye daisies. Those spawn everywhere. It'll be much easier to make the alchemy catalyst than it'll be to go look for a Sunflower Plains biome. Alright, here is an alchemy catalyst. So to use it, we have to come over to one of our mana pools. Any of them will do, so I'll just use one of these. And it has to be placed in the block underneath it. And you can kind of see it's there by looking through the mana pool. Like it has a slight texture to it. And then all you have to do is take the item and throw it in there. And you get the, it's the same as regular mana pool crafting, except now you have a block underneath the mana pool. So anyways, now that we have these, let's grab a bunch of them. But we never have to do that again. Alright, so with our sunny quartz crafted, I went to check on the progress of our runic altar here. It's still kicking along, but we're only at 37. And looking at it, I think the bottleneck is that these mana spreaders are shooting mana into that runic altar too slowly. So we can just replace the basic mana spreader with Gaia mana spreaders. And these are just, high tier. Oopsies, that's not the way I want you to point. These are just high tier mana spreaders that, spread mana faster. So when we bind this to that, we should see that the progress should go faster. And it'll be more apparent once we do all three. I'm not going to bother swapping these mana spreaders out because these mana spreaders already keep up with the flowers. And right now the flower is a bottleneck for those. So anyways, let's see. Bind you to you. You to you. There we go, much faster. Uh-oh, we may actually be too fast now. We were so fast that the item didn't drop. Oh, because we're out of living stone, huh? Let's fix that. Glad I was here to catch that. Wait, oh, I put it in the wrong chest. Ah, mistakes were made. Alright, now I have to turn this off and fix it. Alright, let's try that again. We can turn this system back on. Living stone goes in the dropper, not the chest that dumps all its contents onto the runic altar. So yeah, now it only takes like 2 seconds for the entire mana, all the mana it needs to be shot over, as opposed to like the 10-15 seconds it was taking before. Wow, so much faster. So I've lined up all the mats for our crystal matrix ingot, and all we're waiting for are those runes of summer, which I hope are done by now. That's more than we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I guess I'll just turn it off by pulling that. That way I can still use this setup to craft other items if I need to. Anyways, I think it was done in this crafting table. No, it's still the 9x9. And I hope this makes 9 of them. Ooh, it only makes 6. Alright, well, what am I missing for the other 3? Diamond lattices, sure. The cheapest item in the group, so I don't mind. There we go. Alright, so let's put the extras back. Now with 9 crystal matrix ingots, can I craft this into crystal matrix block? And then, you know the drill, animate, capture, rename, and spawn. So here we are at our mob farm, and I noticed the spawn rates are down a lot. What happened? So I went to check, we ran out of solidified experience. 0. Remember, we started with like 500k-ish, and over the course of about a day, we've gone through all of it. So, to alleviate that problem, remember this problem's going to alleviate itself in a minute. I'm just going to deal with the reduced spawn rate, actually. I was thinking about putting one of those matter chest thingies, and then letting that make our... You know where I'm getting. Words are hard when I'm trying to do stuff at the same time. Making that spawn the solidified experience. But we're still getting some solidified experience from our various farms. It's just not enough to keep up with our demand. So despite the reduced spawn rates, we still get a lot of crystal matrices. And once again, I think to unpack these, we have to use the factorizer. So I guess this is a good time to talk about why... when we're, for so many things recently, I've been like, I don't want to build a system for it. When normally I'm all about, building a robust automation system that can withstand the test of time. And the big difference right now is that the rate that we're progressing through like Project E and all this technology and new ways of resource collection, any system I build will likely be obsolete in like a day. So I don't want to build a system and then immediately obsolete it. So anyways, moving on to ultimate ingots, they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 crystal matrices each. 11 times 9, 99. That's about 2 stacks, under 2 stacks. The rest of the materials should be here. Again, everything here has an EMC value. These lime matters have a very high EMC value, but 200 billion when you have 800 billion in the bank, that's fine. And, we have all of this obsidian, right? Obsidian. Yeah. It's so high it doesn't, well, it's 2 billion per times almost 300k. I'll let you do the math on that one. Anyways, ultimate ingots. 9 of them. Awesome. That should be quest complete. Aha. Alright, once again, craft them into a block. Animate and capture and rename and spawn. And would you look at that? A bunch of blocks of the ultimate. And apparently pigmen don't like that guy. Alright, well, you guys duke it out. Well, that pigman walked a long way just to kill him. Anyways, once we wrong factorizer. Wait, why are they both in combined mode? This one should be in split. Why are you in combined? Whatever. You still haven't killed him. They're like best friends now. How you guys doing? You good? Buddies? Alright, no more fighting. Now that we have our blocks of the ultimate, one kind of funny thing we can make with it is we can finally make our processing upgrades. You know, remember how all of our furnaces have this ore doubling upgrade in it that makes it double ores? Well, now we can make it double everything. Just in time, right? I mean, like, we may as well make it, but it's a little late to the party. Anyways, I'll do that later. With the ultimate ingot now, let's see. Hopefully we can make the Transmutation Tablet. So I think... let's grab 4 of these. I think I already got all the materials for the Transmutation Tablet here. And I can't say for sure because I haven't tried it, but wait, hold on. No. These materials are for something else. Those are for the Book of Knowledge. These are for the Transmutation Tablet. In between episodes, I took some time, again, mostly just like some basic crafting or grabbing items out of the EMC machine. So I figured I'll get that out of the way. With any luck, then, this will be the tablet. I'm missing something. I'm missing a transmutation table and 4 runes of greed. All right. Well, there's the easy one. And we have 3. 1 short, whatever. Same way we were making this before. Let's just have it make us 1 more. So I think because it's set up right, I don't even have to walk over to that runic altar to set up a new recipe. All I have to do is do this, make me 1, and we should see that in just a second we should get our 4th rune of greed. Come on, game, please don't make me wrong. I hate being wrong. Oh, thank God. Cool. That's the power of setting up a robust auto-crafting system. You can insert new recipes without even having to, you know, leave the comfort of your AE system. Anyways, Transmutation Tablet. Hallelujah. Alright, give me 1 of these. So, functionally, this is just like the Transmutation Table, except it's handheld. So, you can, you know, take it with you. Let's learn it. Give me a bunch more. Oh, they don't stack apparently. All right, well, give me a whole bunch more then. Now that we have this, let's see, get off my list. Get out, get out, get out. Next thing I want to make is the Transmutation Chamber. This is a very easy recipe for those blocks of iron. So the Transmutation Chamber is from the Equivalent Integrations mod, and it is how you link your applied energistics system to the to your Amazon store, shall we call it? And that way, your applied energistics system can automatically transmute items for you. Now, to do so, it needs to know who's, you know, it needs to have access to your wallet, right? And that for that, it needs a soul talisman. Come on, these don't stack either. So with a soul talisman bound to yourself, you can now teach the transmutation chamber, hey, when you need to spend money, you know, you have access to my wallet, right? My 800 billion plus wallet. So right click it to bind it to yourself. And then we need a couple more things. I think technically you don't have to have these, but having them increases efficiency. And there's like some lore that machine transmutation is less efficient than human transmutation. So without, screw it, just make 4 efficiency upgrades because they're free and put them in your machine. And lastly, we need a storage bus. So the way the transmutation chamber works is that it doesn't actually, where do I want to put this? It doesn't actually put the items in your ME system. It kind of acts like as a warehouse. Think like, I guess we've been using Amazon as an example. Let's keep up with it, right? Think of it as like the Amazon warehouse. It holds all the items and it holds, you know, your money. So that when you go to buy the items, like, you know, how you have your saved credit card information on Amazon, right? So when you go to buy items, let's see, this goes here and this goes here. I don't know what that item is. Screw it. when you go to buy items off Amazon, it knows, to bill you for the item as well as to, I didn't mean to hit that button. Extract only. It knows to bill you for the item, and it has, all the items in it, but you don't get to use them until you pay for it. So it's kind of similar. It's remotely similar in that sense. Maybe it'll be more obvious once you see it. So I want this to be the highest priority inventory in our network. That way, any item, I want to use the items we have before we buy them off Amazon. And I have to connect it to the ME network. I also want it to be extract only. I don't want to insert items into the transmutation chamber. I'm not even sure. I think you can insert items into the transmutation chamber. And in so doing, it's like selling it back to Amazon. You know how you can sell on Amazon, right? You can get your EMC out of items that way too. So that's like automatically inserting the obsidian into here. It's something we can do later. So anyways, when we open up our whatchamacallit thing now, our ME system, we should see that anyways. Every item that we've learned, we suddenly have 1 million of it in our ME system. Let's see. If we go too far down, there's the items that we, haven't learned yet. So what's happening is this transmutation chamber, our Amazon warehouse is showing us that we have these items and we can buy them. And what happens is, easier to show than tell, right? So what happens is when we go to withdraw the item, we pay for it then. So let's see, we have 867 million EMC. Let's pick an item that's kind of expensive. Red matter. We have 52 of it in the network right now. So let's take that stack out first. We have 800, maybe red matter's not expensive enough. Hold on. Let's pick an item that's slightly more expensive. Pink matter. So let's grab a stack just to make sure we have none in our ME system. We have 867, 502, 988. When we go grab another stack, we should see that we are deducted. It was 867, 502. Now it's 221. So we pay for the item when we take it out. And since we bought it now, when we put it back, since I'm not configuring any items to go back into there, we store it in ME storage. So that since we've already paid for it, now when we withdraw it again, we don't pay for it a second time. What that means is that for some items, like this fading matter, which is very expensive, the warehouse says, hey, you can only afford 3 of them. Which is true. If we buy our 3, we are now broke. Now, since I don't want these, I'm going to sell them back. What we can do, though, is now that we have this, our auto-crafting system sees all these items, and let's head back to our simple void world here. And since the ME system has access to, maybe I didn't learn solidified experience. Hold on. Let me snatch one of these. What should happen is once I learn this item, the ME system can automatically go buying it for me. So now this interface, remember how just seconds ago I was like, you know what, I'm not going to replace it? This is why. Our ME system can now go shopping on our behalf, at the Amazon warehouse. And now we can see that this is running at full speed, spawning mobs at a pretty ridiculous rate. What I'll probably do is after a little bit, I'll take out some of these mobs. Like, I probably don't need more Awakened Draconium than I have. Awakened. I see little reason why I need more than 225,000 of these, especially because they don't make a singularity. Cool. So with that out of the way, get off my list. The next thing I want to make is a Tome of Knowledge. A Tome of Knowledge, when learned, you unlock all transmutation knowledge. So basically every item that has an EMC value, you'll learn about. Right now, I just had to go and learn the solidified experience, and there's plenty of items in my ME system that that have an EMC value, like ink sacks, but I just never learned it, so we can't transmute into it yet. If we make the Tome of Knowledge, though, it'll suddenly know how to make ink sacks, and it'll know how to make every item with an EMC value, including some stuff that, like the, I don't know, let's look at fluid. These very large fluid drives, somewhere. These very large fluid drives, right, they have an EMC value, but I've never bothered crafting it because it's like 30,000 steps. But once I learn the Tome of Knowledge, we will know how to make them. So let's go craft this. I actually think, let's see. I think I set aside all the items for this except the Transmutation Tablet already. So once we get back to our main base, we should be quite easy to craft. Alright, so this recipe uses so many unique items that I think it takes like most of my inventory just to hold them all. So I dropped everything else off, and we're missing something. Red gem wafer, sure. Oh, look at that, I already have them crafted. Alright, let's try that again. Ooh, sweet. Tome of Knowledge. So, let's complete. So at first I thought it was you put it in this slot, but I don't think that's how it works. I think it's when learned. So when you learn it, not only do you learn the Tome of Knowledge, but you learn literally every item that has an EMC value. Right, so now I can buy more Tomes of Knowledge, although I don't know why you would do that. So I guess now our oh dear, that was laggy. I think what's happening is that that Amazon warehouse updating down there created some lag. Creating a lot of lag. Jeez. So anyways, now you see we have a lot of items that have 1 million in stock, and those are just all the items that we can afford to buy. So now, to complete this analogy, once we grab our obsidian. Oh dear, there's a lot of obsidian. I want 8x compressed obsidian. Once we grab all this and stuff it into our tablet. No more? There we go. If we think of the EMC store as Amazon, then I think we've become Jeff Bezos. For better or worse. Cool. So yeah, now any item with an EMC value, we have very easy access to natively within the AE system. So let's go get my inventory back, which includes my flight. So now I can finally go and take down some of these systems. Right, like here, I definitely don't need the crafting card in here anymore. So we can pull that because this is made using EMC. These capacitors, I can just add them here. These are made using EMC, so I don't need this energy condenser anymore. That might lag a bit more than I wanted to because it was full of items. Anyways, yeah, as a result, I get to take down probably most of the machines in the base. I'm not going to take everything down yet just because some of it might have some use, but I definitely get to do some cleanup, and that should get some of our tick rate back. Well, we don't need our trusty old cobble generator anymore, but I'm not about to break a drawer that has 3,500 stacks of items in it, so I think we're just going to have to pack it up and throw the drawer with everything in it over the edge. Oh, did not pick it up. Oh, my, right, I still have this magnet card on. One disadvantage I've realized of having the entire Amazon warehouse connected to our ME system is that whenever I open this inventory for the first time, it can be a little laggy. Like even if I've just opened it, so it's not like the first time in each session. It's whenever I open it at all. Apparently until I start recording, then it doesn't lag at all. Huh. The whole time I was tearing stuff down, every time I right-click this, it would lag. But not anymore. I guess I won't complain. Maybe it's fixed. Anyways, drawer with all of our items. Goodbye. And you know what? I think this wonderful sifting system that we've had, I think it's time. I don't think it produces anything of value anymore. Everything it makes has an EMC value, and it's really just a lag generator at this point. It's probably the biggest visual lag generator in our base. Yeah, I think it's time for it to go. I'm gonna miss it though. It's kind of been like, a feature in our base for so long that it's here. But it's met its match. It's time to go. Vein mine the glass. Making a mess. Get rid of the wheels. Another random piece of glass down here. Ooh, lots of items too. Alright, cool. Now I just have to clean up all the items on the ground. Wow, what are we going to do without our giant, vaguely phallic object dividing our base in two? Well, guess we'll never know. Remember all these automation systems we set up back in like the single-digit episodes? Yep, they're obsolete. We don't even need our reasonably recent processor automation anymore because all of these processors have EMC values. Alright, I've torn down just about every system I think I can. I've left up most of our manual machines just because I don't know if I'm going to have to, use them to make small batches of items that don't have EMC values. And that's about it. There's a few automation systems that I still left up too, like our capacitor automation here, because the final product doesn't have an EMC value and it isn't a block form. So anyways, with that though, I think our base has gotten a lot less laggy, at least visually. I'm getting, well, still not great FPS, but better FPS than before. I can look at any part of our base without while maintaining at least 30 FPS. I think I also figured out why this sometimes lags. The search bar is what causes lag because I guess there's so many items in here. So if I don't have any filter in the search bar, this is fine. But as soon as I start searching, you can already see how clunky it is while it searches. And if I open it while there's a word in there, it performs a search. I guess it doesn't have cache results or anything. And that's what causes it to be quite laggy. But that I think is a small price to pay for having immediate access to every item with an EMC value. So anyways, I think we're going to wrap up this episode here. We got some huge milestones done and some good base cleanup. So as of this moment, I officially declare we are in the end game. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.